All you should need to properly enjoy a good driving simulator is an affinity for both cars and video games. But over the last decade or so, the racing sim genre has been saddled with layers of difficulty that severely limited their appeal. Turn 10's Forza series has been pretty smart in the past when it comes to this issue, and Forza Motorsport 3 is the developer's most accessible driving sim yet. With plenty of amazing things to do both on and off the track, and enough options to let anyone with a love of cars enjoy some level of success, Forza Motorsport 3 is like a new blueprint for how racing games like this should work. When you're looking to get into one of the over 400 cars and drive, the game's clean menus make progressing from one thing to the next very easy. You can either get in and choose exactly which race series you want to get into, or let the game recommend some next steps via its season mode. Either way, there are over 200 different series of races to get into, and you'll earn credits and experience points as you race. The actual racing is governed by a great simulation model that, when you've got all of the assists turned off and the difficulty pumped up, is as challenging as it gets. Now, I'm not going to stand here and be all Mr. Macho about game difficulty and tell you that that's my favorite way to play the game. I found a pretty happy medium where I don't use the auto brake because that feels a little too much like the game's playing itself. I also eventually turned off the full driving line and slowly increased the difficulty of the AI. But I'm not going to play with manual transmission turned on. At that point, the game becomes, for me anyway, a lot less fun. The adjustable assists let you grow into the different difficulty settings as you get better at the game, but even if you disable all of it so you can be a crazy clutch-using drifter, you still have a safety net thanks to the game's rewind feature. You can roll back a race at any time by simply hitting the back button. You can do it as often as you like, and you aren't really penalized for doing so. That sounds sort of crazy, but it actually solves a very specific problem from the previous game. There are some extremely long races in Forza 3. One of the endurance races has you race 128 miles at Road America. Imagine, if you will, you're driving along, you're enduring. 120 miles pass and you're in the lead. Then suddenly, narcolepsy strikes. You take a corner poorly, spin out, and end up in last place. Are you going to ever attempt that race a second time? If so, you've got way more patience than I do. You're never forced to use the rewind feature, and you'll get a better leaderboard position if you avoid using it, but it's nice to have it there when tragedy strikes. Of course, there's no safety net when you're playing online. Up to 8 drivers can get on and race via a Halo-like matchmaking setup, or, if you've got friends, you can assemble them into a private race, which gives you a long list of tweaks that you can use to set up the rules for a race any way you like. You'll still earn experience points and credits for your online races. Those credits you stack up for winning races can be used to buy more cars, but there's also a crazy robust storefront section where users can sell their own created goods for in-game currency. That means that if you're good at using the game's powerful vinyl editors to make slick designs, you can make a virtual living by selling vinyl groups or full car designs. Tuners can sell tuning files in the same way, so if you know how to specifically tune and upgrade a car to make it perfect for drag races or drifting or speedways or something, you might be able to get some in-game grip for doing so. The storefront almost feels like its own little mini-game, and it's easy to spend hours just sifting through the wild stuff people have created. The truly impressive part about all this is that the developers have managed to build a serious driving game that's actually playable by the sort of people who would never spend time thinking about things like the apex of a turn or ride height or any actual car stuff. If you really like cars, you'll like Forza Motorsport 3. It's as simple as that.